A 30-year-old Dooney & Bourke bag just sold on eBay for $250. It was used, it had been carried for 3 decades, and the leather looked better than a brand new bag from most brands charging that same price today. In 1983, Dooney & Bourke introduced a leather so waterproof that water rolled off its surface the way it rolls off a duck's back. They called it all-weather leather, and they stamped a brass duck on every bag they made with it. Women who bought those bags in the 80s still carry them now. Meanwhile, designers charging $500 are selling coated canvas with a logo. 7 vintage Dooney & Bourke styles are quietly better than what luxury counters sell for multiples of their resale price, and most women walking past them have no idea. Number 7. The Signature Canvas Hobo. Not every vintage Dooney is leather, and the Signature Canvas Hobo is the one that proves canvas doesn't have to mean cheap. The coated canvas on these bags was built for real use, resistant to scuffs, easy to wipe clean, and backed by genuine leather trim and solid brass hardware on every piece. Compare that to the coated canvas bags luxury houses sell for $800, with a logo doing all the visual work, and the gap in actual materials is embarrassingly small. The vintage Dooney Signature Hobo shows up on Etsy and eBay regularly for under $100 in excellent condition, which means you're getting honest, well-made construction for what a luxury brand charges for a keychain. A canvas bag built for life, not a season. But the next style is where all-weather leather begins, and everything changes. Number 6. The Teton Bucket Bag. Launched in 1993 and produced only through 1995, the Teton is one of the most sought-after vintage Dooneys on the resale market. And the reason is exactly what collectors say about it. The pebble leather is practically indestructible. The drawstring silhouette was a departure from Dooney's more rigid shapes, slouchy, generous, and easy to carry, and the all-weather leather in earthy tones like saddle tan, bone, and hunter green ages into something that looks almost custom-made over time. Vintage Tetons regularly sell for $200 to $300, which sounds like money until you realize these bags are 30 years old and still going strong. A luxury bucket bag today costs 4 to 6 times that and won't last a decade of real use. The leather alone is the argument, and the next style is the one that became the face of the entire brand. Number 5. The Essex Shoulder Bag. If one bag defines what Dooney & Bourke meant in its golden era, it's the Essex. The large embossed duck stitched onto the front flap became a status symbol in its own right, recognizable enough to carry cultural weight, understated enough to avoid looking loud. The construction is structured and serious, a full flap closure, a solid brass duck fob, English tan leather trim, and that signature all-weather leather body in colors that still feel current today. Essex bags surface consistently on resale sites in saddle tan, navy, hunter green, and black, typically in the $80 to $200 range depending on condition. This shoulder bag comes in several colors, including green, navy, tan, and antique lace, most often trimmed in English tan leather. A structured flat bag with genuine leather, brass hardware, and 30 years of proven durability, at a price most designer brands charge for a dust bag. And the next one is the workhorse that built the whole legend. Number 4. The AWL Carrier Bag. The Carrier is the original Dooney & Bourke daily bag, and it's the one that proved the all-weather leather concept in the real world. Boxy, structured, with a top handle and optional shoulder strap, it was built for the kind of use that destroys cheaper bags in a season. Women who bought these in the 1980s describe using them through rain, sun, and years of commuting, with no conditioning, no babying, and no deterioration. The leather simply gets better, softening slightly, developing a deeper tone at the stress points, and holding its structure through everything. That's what full-grain, waterproof pebble leather does, and it's what no coated canvas or bonded leather alternative can replicate at any price. Find one in excellent condition for under $150, and you have a bag that will outlive every trend on the market right now. But the next style is the sleeper that collectors quietly fight over. Number 3. The Norfolk Satchel. The Norfolk is Dooney & Bourke's most architectural vintage bag, and it consistently earns the highest praise from collectors who know the line. Where the Carrier and Essex are warm and equestrian, the Norfolk is sharp, clean lines, a structured body, and a refined silhouette that looks as current today as it did when it was made. The all-weather leather here is used at its most buttoned up, and the result is a bag that reads as understated luxury the moment you pick it up. The Norfolk satchel and shoulder bag appears in vintage collections, priced originally at up to $500, and restored versions sell in the $160 to $270 range for bags that are decades old and still structurally perfect. A structured satchel with this construction and longevity, bought new from a luxury house today, would cost 4 to 6 times that number. 2 left, and both are the ones even seasoned collectors miss. Number 2. The Florentine Clayton Satchel. The Florentine line is where Dooney & Bourke stepped into a different category of leather altogether. Instead of the all-weather pebble leather, the Florentine collection used a smooth, vegetable-tanned Italian leather. The same category of hide that niche luxury brands charge $1,000 for and justify with heritage and provenance. The Clayton Satchel in the Florentine line is a structured, elegant bag with a warmth and depth that pebble leather doesn't have, and it ages with a patina that makes it more beautiful every year rather than less. The Florentine Clayton Satchel surfaces in vintage collections with original prices noted at over $700, with restored pieces available in the $400 to $500 range, still a fraction of what a comparable vegetable-tanned Italian satchel costs from a brand with a European name on the label. The leather is the same conversation, only the logo is different, and number 1 is the bag that started everything. Number 1. The original AWL Duck Bag. In 1983, Dooney & Bourke introduced all-weather leather, a pebble leather with such impressive waterproof qualities that water rolled right off its surface, as if it were a duck's back. The original duck bag was the first piece built with it, and it's the one that launched a brand that would define American leather goods for a generation. A small brass duck fob, a compact structured body, that unmistakable pebble leather in a color that deepens and enriches over decades. This is the bag that women who bought it in 1983 are still carrying in 2026. Not as a novelty, not as a nostalgic gesture, but because it still works. It still holds its shape. The leather still repels water. The stitching hasn't moved. No luxury brand selling a canvas bag for $800 can make that claim about a 40-year-old piece, because they're not making bags that last 40 years. Dooney & Bourke was. The original duck bag on eBay or Etsy today, in good condition, typically runs between $75 and $150. For a bag that is older than most smartphones, made of waterproof full-grain leather, built in the United States, and still going strong, that price isn't a bargain. It's almost an insult to what the bag actually is. There's one thing I haven't told you yet. Knowing which vintage Dooney to buy is only half the story, because the wrong one, a fake, a damaged hide, a replaced strap, is a complete waste of money no matter how good the price looks. There's a 3-second authentication check you can run on any vintage Dooney & Bourke before you buy. Whether you're at an estate sale, on Etsy, or scrolling eBay at midnight, and it tells you instantly whether you're holding the real thing. I break that exact check down in the next video. Watch it before you spend a cent. It's on your screen right now.